I would.
Welcome to the K-Files. Good morning, JP.
Good morning, Miss Sandra.
Welcome back. Always good to have you here with me, especially when he brings donuts.
Hot now.
I could have inhaled that this morning, y'all, and I will later. So, what are we about? JP, what are we about? You know, we had a board meeting, Team Cold Case board meeting, and they said, are y'all telling people? And they said, we're doing a good job of telling people what we're all about. But for the first time viewer, what are we about?
You know, we're about helping the community solve crimes, bringing closure to families that are seeking justice for a missing loved one or a loved one that was murdered, killed, something like that. We're just a community asset. We're here to help local law enforcement bring in leads to help solve crimes.
Closure to families.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. You saw the billboard, you said. It's
I did.
Still
Saw
up.
the billboard. Looks good. It caught my attention coming in this morning.
Yeah, we changed the number, the phone number, to white. We had to kind of play with the colors to see what was good, and we changed the phone number so it's bold white, and it's a colorful billboard so that it does bring attention. So we hope that you will look at it. We hope you will call the number. We hope you will participate. Please help us to solve some of these crimes that have been, it's crimes that have been sitting on the books for a long time, and unsolved murders. That's what it's about, unsolved murders. So if it were your loved one, think about how you would want, and we hope it never is your loved one, and I hope it's not my loved one or JP's loved one, but if it is, yes, I would want to know what happened, and I want to know who.
Yeah, I would too.
These are things that you would want to know. So, and we have to get people off the street so they do not re-offend. I mean, you know, they're doing it, and, you know, repeat offenders.
That's exactly right. I believe that. I believe it's the same group of people perpetrating this stuff repeatedly in a community. I believe it.
I really got the details of the quadruple murder that happened in Halifax County of the two couples that were playing cards on a Sunday. I really got the details of that and found out that the suspects, you know, there were 4 and some got let out, but what happened was they also, one of them also, James Powell, committed a murder in Deer Run, which is on the way to Scotland Neck, on the left, also committed a murder there. That's how they caught him. After he did the murder in Halifax, he put the guns, you know, this one of the reasons they broke in there and killed the two couples was because they knew that one of them was a big gun collector. He had lots of guns, and that was one thing they were after. And so they had the guns in the trunk of the car. Well, I hear all the time law enforcement officers will tell me, look, we know criminals can be stupid now. I had one tell me that not long ago. But this was dumb. Carrying the guns in the, you know. And then a crime was committed at Deer Run. They searched the car. They opened the trunk. Guess what they find?
The guns.
The stolen guns from the murder matched up to the murder in Halifax County. What about that?
Yeah, that's pretty much a slam dunk.
Oh my gosh, you know, it's like Sheriff Stone and I talk about this a lot, and some of the deputies and lieutenants in Nash County. You know, they do highway interdiction on 95. It is the dumbest thing. If you're carrying drugs and you're carrying, and you're, you know, whatever, you're illegal, you've got stolen guns, or you're a felon with a gun, and you're on I-95 and you're speeding, you're reckless driving, you're going over the center line, you're going to get pulled. I would do something not to call attention to myself, and I'd probably be fine just moseying right on through Nash County and because I think we have a reputation. I've heard this before, don't go through Nash County, whatever you do. But criminals can be so dumb.
They are, and a lot of times it's the slightest little detail that gets them on a snag.
Yeah, they get pulled for something else.
The interdiction teams are trained to look for the slightest indicator, not necessarily just speed or an illegal lane change. It is looking for that person who's holding the steering wheel a certain way.
Oh, really?
Looking for the slightest little irregularity, and it's so systematic that it's just like shooting fish in a barrel. Once you hone your skill, that's one reason that Nash County is so successful. It's the training.
It's all that training.
It is, and it's paying off.
Golly, Dave, we don't want them to stop here, because what are they going to do when they stop here with their drugs and their guns? They're going to put drugs into your community, give them to your grandchildren,
That's right.
your children.
And with drug activity, it brings other violent crime.
Absolutely.
It does. It's a domino effect.
Yes. So, anyway, some interesting information about that. I always get enlightened when I go to a press conference where one of these folks have gotten caught. So, anyway, we're going to take our break. It's already break time. We'll be right back with you, and we'll talk about some cases right after this.
Make any day special by coming into Ribeye Steakhouse in Nashville. Come on in and enjoy our legendary tender and juicy Omaha Angus ribeyes. And try and share our seafood entrees, your choice of shrimp, flounder, or oysters. And especially don't forget our famous salad bar with all your favorite fixins. If you want to give that someone special something to revel in, Ribeye's gift certificates can be made to order. And as you're looking for somewhere to host a business meeting or special event, you can reserve the Angus Room. Ribeye Steakhouse of Nashville, over 10 years of great food.
I'm Daniel Moss, owner of Cornerstone Funeral Home, and I'd like to invite you and your family to give our family an opportunity to serve you in your time of need. And we offer a full line of funeral services, everything from visitations to graveside services to cremations on site with a live crematory, as well as a banquet hall to meet the catering needs of our families that we serve. We offer catering service. We offer refreshments prior to visitations and services of our family. And we want to invite you to come and experience the difference here at Cornerstone Funeral Home.
What is the Davis Furniture difference? The difference is we buy with you in mind. For generations, we have listened to our customers. We can help you find the look you want for every room in your house. Quality, style, color, and of course service. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Davis Furniture, the family business where we treat you like family. Let us help you make your house a home. Davis Furniture, historical downtown Rocky Mount, on the corner of Hill and Main.
Okay, well, we will start in our book. We're in missing persons, I believe, aren't we? Okay, I'll let you start. These are missing And don't forget, it's not just unsolved murders. Missing persons falls under our umbrella also, because there are a lot of folks out there. I'm really surprised at how many missing persons there are.
You know, before we jump in that, you know, we talk about the importance of having security systems and cameras and things like that. And I wanted to tell you about something that happened over the weekend at my home. About 1 a.m., I just happened to be up watching TV. This was Saturday night. And I heard my dogs barking. I didn't think anything of it. And then they kept on and on and on. So I flipped my TV around to see my cameras. There's a car sitting in my driveway. And if anybody knows where I live in a rural part of southern Nash County. No neighbors. I live on a farm. This car had come up my driveway and turned its headlights off. So I got my gun and I walked outside, and it was a gentleman sitting in his car. And he's like, he calls me Glenn. I didn't correct him, I just let him talk. He's like, Glenn, can I get $50? I said, friend, you don't know me. You have clearly gone to the wrong house. But I can't help you. And he's like, clearly he's nervous energy. I'm standing there, I've got a gun in my hand. He's like, look, I don't want any problems, just let me leave. I said, yeah, that's about the best thing you can do. So he backs out and he leaves. And I get to thinking about it. I was like, you know, that was extremely odd. So I back up my camera. This man had come by my home. A few minutes later, come back by my home. And I thought, okay, so I'm watching it. And all of a sudden I see someone at the road with a flashlight flashing, signaling. I see this car pull up to pick up this person with the flashlight. My dogs come out. So the person with the flashlight runs across the street into the woods. This car had already kind of turned in my driveway and turned its lights off. So this is when I'm turning my lights on in my home. So he decided to just kind of come on up in the driveway and play it off. So I don't know if these people were checking my outbuilding. I don't know if they were checking barns on my property, vehicles that are out of sight of the camera. I don't know what they were doing.
Wow.
So there was 2 of them.
He
had been by and dropped somebody off. And I would have never known it had I not took the time to look at my cameras.
Wow.
The good news is now I got them on camera. Called the sheriff's department. We've already identified the person.
Really?
We've got a name. We know who it is. We know where they live.
Wow.
They've already been visited. They've been told that you know, they might want to avoid my home.
Yes.
But just know if this will happen at a retired state trooper's home.
Wow.
It can happen anywhere.
Anywhere.
And it takes a brave soul to come up around my house with a flashlight at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, 1 o'clock in the morning. And what if you hadn't been up? You wouldn't have known any
I would have never known it.
Well, you might have found out because you might have been missing something the next morning. But, you know, cameras, and I think we've got a guest next week.
We do. Braxton, Robbie Braxton. I grew up with him. We went to Southern Nash High School together. He's a captain with the Raleigh Fire Department, and he's got a side business, Stay Safe Security. He does cameras and home security systems all over eastern North Carolina. He's real big in Wake County, and he's going to come on and kind of talk to us about the pros and cons and of the importance of having a home security system.
Yeah, well, I think this day and time, it is of the utmost importance that you have one. But that's my opinion, and we'll see what he says next week. So I tell you what, that's scary.
It is scary.
That is really scary. Okay, where are we?
I know the last case that I remember discussing week before last was Travis Lynch, the Middlesex case.
We did. We went ahead and did Travis Lynch, and we said we'd start back. We got a long case this morning too. This has got a lot of details, so listen up. Okay. Are we going to do Chandra Renee? Yeah. We'll do
okay. I don't have my glasses this morning, so
Okay,
just
I
bear
can do
with me.
it.
No, I've got it.
Okay.
Bear with me.
Okay.
This case is from December 9th, 2006. At approximately 6 a.m., 24-year-old Chandra Renee Stansberry arrived at a Waffle House in Roanoke Rapids near I-95, where her sister worked. Chandra appeared to have had been beaten, bruises that covered her face and legs, and there was a swollen knot on her temple. Chandra got a ride with a customer who was well known to her and taken to West Side Trailer Court in Roanoke Rapids. Chandra was dropped off and was never heard from again. Chandra's mother filed a missing person report on December 14, 2006 at approximately 10:15 a.m. She was concerned because Chandra would contact her on a daily basis, and she had not heard from her now in several days. The same day her mother took out a missing person report, a woman contacted 911 at approximately 11:28 p.m. to report that she saw two men chasing a woman who had no clothes on and was screaming for help. The caller believed it was Chandra. She stated that she was being chased behind a convenience store near the woods off Highway 158. Investigators eventually traced the call and located the witness a couple of days later. The witness advised detectives that she was familiar with Chandra and was certain it was her. Again, she advised that she had no clothes on and had blood dripping from her mouth and that she was screaming for help. The witnesses was scared to stop, so she waited until she got home to call police. The witness described the two men as black males. The first man was between the ages of 28 and 32 at the time and stood approximately 5 foot 8 inches in height, had a large muscular frame, and a stocky build, and had a dark complexion. He was allegedly wearing denim jeans, a white t-shirt, and a ball cap. It's likely that he may have been bald. The other man was described as having a light complexion, stood approximately 5 foot 6 in height, had a medium build, and dreadlocks. He was said to be wearing Timberland boots, jeans with patches on them, a brown light oversized button-down shirt. Investigators questioned the convenience store employee and they advised they never heard anything, and they also investigated the area and found no prints, disturbed brush, or any other evidence that Chandra was ever there.
That's just, I remember this case before, we've talked about it, and there's a couple of oddities to this case. Number one, the person the witness.
Yeah, if you see a woman getting chased, she
you
appears
gonna
to
call
have
somebody
been
right then?
immediately. It's your first opportunity.
Yeah.
You're not going to drive 20 minutes home and report it.
No.
I think that's odd.
That's odd. I think we said that before. That is very odd. Waffle House, and I'm going to tell you that the suspects, or whatever they are, there is a great description in here of
Yes,
the
it is.
clothing, even down to the Timberland boots, all of that. It's a great description.
It's a lot of information to have that detailed information, and you're driving by at 55, 65 miles an hour.
Absolutely.
You know, from a law enforcement perspective, you did a whole lot of observing.
Yes.
A lot.
Wow. So she was last seen, she left the Waffle House, and was taken to West Side Trailer Court in Roanoke Rapids.
At 6 a.m.
And that was a customer at the store that took her there. Dropped her off there. and she was never heard from again. Her mother called 911. This is on 12/9 when this took place, but her mother didn't call until December 14th. I guess, but she said she heard from her every day. So why didn't she call before then? But anyway.
It sounds like to me she was at work, working, when it appears that she had been beaten. I'd love to know what she told her co-workers about, you know, if somebody shows up at work and it appears as though they've been in a fight or been beaten,
Yeah.
they've got a narrative, they've got a story, they've got something that she probably shared with co-workers. That's where I'd start.
So she worked at the Waffle House.
The sister, where her sister worked.
Oh, her sister worked at the Waffle House. Yeah. Well, I don't know, but if you know anything about Shonda Renee Stansberry, 12/9/2006, Waffle House, was at the Waffle House, left there, went to West Side Trailer Court in Roanoke Rapids. If you know anything, please call the number on the screen, or either you can call, well, this is definitely a Roanoke Rapids case, so Twin County Crime Stoppers number. You can always call a Crime Stoppers number. They will get to the right authority. I mean, they'll call, Rocky Mount will call, or whoever, if you call Crime Stoppers. If you can remember that number, and that's all you can remember, just call that, they'll get to the right authority. But call somebody. Let somebody know if you know anything about this case or any case. Please, we have $15,000 in the pot that we want to pay out, and we can pay up to $15,000, and you will get cash money. You'll get cash money, and it will be paid to you within 48 hours. So, folks, you know, if you want some cash and you want to get somebody off the street, after this long a period of time, it's no telling how many times these criminals, these people, have re-offended, have done other crimes and still doing them. It's important to get these people off the street.
I'm not going to say this case is sex trafficking, but in reading it, especially like being chased around the convenience store, screaming for help in public, you know, sex trafficking is a crime that occurs all over the United States. It can happen in a rural community. It can happen in a big city. You know, being on the highway patrol, they train us to look, you know, patrol your rest areas, patrol your truck stops, be observant for this, because a lot of times in the trucking industry, unfortunately, this is how a lot of people get moved around the United States.
Wow.
And it's to look for people like this who have an opportunity, just a split-second opportunity to say, help me.
Wow.
You know.
Well, you know, I asked Sheriff Stone one time, I said, we don't have that much human trafficking in our area, do we? He looked at me like,
I bet you.
Kidding?
I bet you they come up I-95 just like that drug interdiction.
Yeah.
Just like drugs.
Gold Rock.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Gold Rock has right much of it, I think. So we need to have the sheriff on to talk about that. He can really talk about that, and we'll see if we can't have him join us one morning because this case could very well, like you said, this could be.
I mean, it could be.
You know, something like that.
Because it was right off the interstate.
Right. There were 2 men in this case, black males, first man between the ages of 28, 32, so they were young.
If this witness had this much time to be this observant,
yeah, I can't
and this
believe
detailed,
that.
I'd want to know. Okay, good job. You did a fine job. What vehicles were in the parking lot?
Yeah.
They should be able to tell you.
Why can't they tell that? Okay. Well, anyway, folks, we hope that somebody knows something, and we know somebody knows something. I mean, absolutely somebody knows something in that case. I think we went ahead and did Joyce Durham.
We did.
Just a quick one, but we'll just mention again that one.
Okay.
Yes.
Joyce Renee Durham. This case is from June 17th, 2007. Joyce Durham was reported missing June 17th, 2007 from here in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. And we have very limited information
This
on
is
that
one we
particular
hope
case.
we can get more information on. Is this one. Okay, let's go ahead and take it's 8:35, so this next one is kind of a long one, so we will take our break. We'll come back with you with another case right after this.
The Edgecombe Community College Caheen Auditorium 2022-23 Performance Series is back. Carolina Symphony Holiday Pops and A Christmas Carol. Coming in 2023, the Zuzu African Acrobats. And yes, you heard right, the Rat Pack one more time. The Kings of Las Vegas Swing. And wrapping up the season, To Kill a Mockingbird, Matilda the Musical, and Rashomon. Season tickets on sale now. Don't miss out. Get your season tickets today.
Sal's Pizza, an Italian night out. Taste pizza fresh from the oven. Delicious Italian dishes made from fresh ingredients with savory sauces and textures that envelop the taste buds, satisfying with every bite. You won't leave Sal's Pizza hungry.
Best pizza in town, bar none. Love it. It's authentic. It's good stuff.
This is over the top. Sal's probably has the best pizza I've ever tasted.
If you want a dine-in authentic place to eat gourmet Italian cuisine, come to Sal's Pizza, home of a local secret, the Grandma Pizza, famous for its authentic taste. For the finest, most delicious dishes, this is the place. 2820 Sunset Avenue, Rocky Mount. Ask about Sal's Pizza catering your special events.
Promise you, the freshest ingredient in the market.
Did you get engaged over the Christmas holidays? Congratulations! The next big step is choosing your venue. Smith's Pavilion of Dorches is a premium wedding venue that includes a ceremony site, bandstand, indoor and outdoor reception area. Their newest additions are a bridal suite and groom's room. They also have an in-house chef to meet your culinary needs. Most importantly, you get the Smith's team of experts to turn your vision into your real-life dream wedding. Smith's Pavilion of Dorches, where we celebrate life's greatest events.
Why buy from Don Bullock Chevrolet? What we do it better for you, like the Lifetime Care Promise. Just drive into our service department and we'll top off your fluids and oil, check your tire pressure, all while you remain in your car. And in less than 5 minutes. Plus, it's free. Don Bullock Chevrolet is a full-service dealership with service, parts, and collision department. Let our knowledgeable and friendly staff help you. On-site, third-generation owned and operated for 105 years. Don Bullock Chevrolet.
The tank is on E, and your low tire pressure light is glaring at you again. You do not have time to wait in line and pay to put air in the tires, and you certainly don't want to get out of the car in the cold and pump gas. What if you could pull up to a gas pump and have an attendant run out to greet you to pump your gas, clean your windshield, and put air in the tire, all for no extra charge, while you step inside and enjoy a made-to-order breakfast or lunch? Does that kind of full service exist anymore? It does, at JD's Grocery and Grill, a service station created to bring back the full service experience to all customers. JD's Grocery and Grill is a full service gas station. Eat in restaurant with tasty made-to-order food and a grocery store all in one. The staff at JD's Grocery and Grill is ready to field all requests and will help you find anything you need. Call them today at 252-972-5000 or stop on by at 1240 Atlantic Avenue. Store hours, Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Grill hours, Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. JD's Grill and Grocery, at the heart of great food.
And welcome back to the K-Files. So we follow Fighting Crime. She's on our board as a matter of fact. And there is a new Fighting Crime story this morning that...
Yeah, and I didn't know anything about this until I just saw it just moments ago. And for those of you that don't follow Fighting Crime News and Who's Wanted on Facebook, you need to, because they're constantly updating different crimes in the Nash, Edgecombe, Wilson area, Halifax. This is a sad and unfortunate story, but I mean, it is what it is. Law enforcement officers should be held to a higher standard, even retired. Anyway, this story goes Rocky Mount Police Department retired law enforcement officer arrested for trafficking cocaine. It seems Sheriff Stone and his team arrested Link Ashia Brooks yesterday as he was trafficking a large amount of cocaine in the area. Brooks was charged with trafficking cocaine, resisting arrest, and maintaining a dwelling, a vehicle, for the sale of drugs. He was arrested and placed under a $275,000 bond. You know, that's
me?
a
Resist
gut
an
check.
arrest, and he was a police officer.
According to this, yes. I'm not familiar
Come
with
on
him.
now.
That's
I
that's
tell
terrible.
you what, lead by example.
Yeah.
And if you can't lead by example, if you can't be a good example and you've got to do these things, then don't go into law enforcement.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like I've always told my classes and things like that. I was one of these people, if you beware working around me, beware. You do anything unethical or illegal around me, I'm going to tell on you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not, yeah, me too. I'm not, it's
You know,
ridiculous.
a lot of people in law enforcement, a lot of supervisors think you can teach ethics. You cannot.
Oh, no. That
You
is
cannot.
something. Character and ethics you cannot teach.
You are as ethical as you're going to be at 15, I believe, as you are at 20, as you are at 30,
That's
as
right.
you are at 50. I believe that.
Exactly.
You know, we all might have a hiccup. We might have a bump. You might make a bad decision at some point. But overall, you are as ethical as you are ever going to be at 21 years old when you choose that career path to law enforcement.
So he was retired?
According to this, yes. Retired Rocky Mount Police.
Wow. Well, you know, unfortunately, I'm sure the police department was not aware that, I know the police department was not aware that he was doing this activity, and we hope he wasn't doing this activity when he was indeed an officer, but we don't know that. But it is unfortunate that someone, and we talk about kids using, not out against crime, we talked about that with the Middlesex chief last week, how great their Night Out Against Crime is and how it's so important for kids to meet officers and you know, they're great examples and talk to them and find out they're not all the bad guys, they're the good guys. They don't always arrest people, they're there to help people.
That's right.
And help people be safe. And we talked about all this. But then you've got this example that other kids may see, may know about.
And
that
you know,
is not good.
And I'm not chucking off at Rocky Mount PD. I mean, we've had bad apples on the highway patrol.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
had bad apples at Nash
It's
County
something
Sheriff's
they
Office.
don't know. They're not aware of.
That's exactly right. And my hat is off to the sheriff for doing his job
Yes.
and holding this guy just as accountable as he would anybody else.
That's exactly right.
You know.
That's exactly right. And I'm sure the Rocky Mount Police Department and the chief do not feel good about it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure they are sorry that he had to have this behavior. So anyway, we just want to bring that story this morning as our hot and now.
You know, you were just making a comment about parents and children and things like that. You know, it used to always irritate me. I'd be somewhere in uniform, in the courtroom, in a restaurant, anywhere, and a parent come up to me with their child and say, "I'm gonna tell him to get you."
See?
And I'd say, "You know what? No, I'm not gonna get you. I'm gonna get your mama for telling you that." Basically instilling fear.
Yeah, and that's what it does when
it
you
does.
say something like that. You're presenting them as the bad guy. And
if you want to make a good impression on that child, if you're a law enforcement officer, you know what? Take 2 minutes, take that child and that parent, walk them to your car, open that patrol car, let them sit in your car, turn them blue lights on, let them hit the siren, the horn, and that child will remember that forever.
That's exactly right.
Give him a sticker, hug his neck.
Yes.
You don't know what kind of life that child may have had. You don't know what kind of environment he grew up in. And 90 seconds of kindness
That's right.
can impact that child forever.
That's exactly right. You're right. Yes. You know, I am in the Rotary in Rocky Mount, the Rocky Mount Rotary, and we had a speaker. We had Eddie Buffalo. So impressed. Never heard him before, but I knew that Governor Cooper had appointed him 2 years ago to be over public safety, head of DPS.
Mm-hmm.
He previous Elizabeth City police officer. They even hired him in Elizabeth City when they lost their city manager as the interim city manager. And I said, golly, he has quite an impressive resume. But anyway, heard him speak, great speaker. I cannot tell you how much I enjoyed Eddie Buffalo. Never heard him before. And he was talking about how important it is. He was talking about all the law enforcement. He could rattle off how many law enforcement officers in North Carolina, how many people are incarcerated, how many EMS workers, how many military, how many soldiers we have at our military bases. Rattle it off, rattle it off. I said, I'm impressed. But anyway, it was very interesting. But he was saying, he was talking about law enforcement and what a time, you know, he said it's just a different time in law enforcement now. And he said recruiting is a bear.
Mm-hmm.
Recruiting and retention,
mm-hmm.
because they're getting out as soon as they can because of all these things that are going on. But, you know, he said he's begging the community to step forward. If there's anybody they know that might want to go in law enforcement, you know, please help. He is asking for the community's help with recruiting.
And you know, there actually has been a push in the legislature to reduce the qualifications, the background qualification,
mm-hmm.
and I think that's a mistake.
Yes.
When we hire law enforcement officers, we go into their financial background, their credit. We go into so many aspects, talking to their family, their neighbor. They will get out here and beat the bushes. They want to know who you are,
mm-hmm.
not who you say you are.
Mm-hmm.
They want to know who you are. And there's a push to lower these standards,
mm-hmm.
and I think that's a mistake. And it goes back to what I was saying a while ago about ethics and things like that. If you lower this standard, down the road you're only going to have greater problems with law enforcement.
That's right. That's exactly
if anything,
right.
Raise them.
Yes.
Make them more tough, more stringent.
And I guess they feel like they can't because they're having such
right.
a hard time recruiting.
It
is a forced thing.
Mm-hmm.
It is forced. They're forced to make some changes
mm-hmm.
somehow to try to recruit, and also for retention as well. Because like I said, I think they're getting out as soon as they can.
Yeah. Well, you start thinking about how many professions do you know of where your employer is going to want to sign into your Facebook and look at what you've been messaging.
Mm-hmm.
That's something they do on the Highway Patrol.
Right.
They'll say, sign into your Facebook. We want to look at it.
Yeah.
They've done it.
Uh-huh.
We want to, you know, we want to go out and talk to where you went to high school at. We want to talk to your teachers. Mm-hmm. We want to talk. We want to see what kind of business transaction, your banking information.
Right.
If you work on the Highway Patrol right now, your supervisor has access to your phone records, mm-hmm. who you're talking to, who you're texting. Think about that. How many jobs, how many professions mm-hmm. does your supervisor have access to your personal life like that?
Mm-hmm. That's true. That is very true. It's a tough thing, and Eddie Buffalo also talked about, I'll call him Secretary out of respect, Secretary Buffalo. He said the 10 seconds. The 10 seconds, he said, I remember so well the 10 seconds from the time I got out of my vehicle to the time I walked up to the other vehicle that I had pulled.
Yeah. He
said that is scary. And I understand this day and time where law enforcement is coming from, why they don't want to get in. It was a really good presentation. So just want to mention that. Give him some kudos this morning. Okay, we've got a little bit of time. I don't know if we've got time. Well,
Jaleesa?
I think we've got time to do Roger Wade Askew or Jaleesa, or which one you want to do?
Okay. All right, we'll do Jaleesa
Yeah.
Reynolds Jaleesa Reynolds, this case is from February 22nd, 2010. No one has seen or heard from her. I believe we talked about this one.
We have, and this is such an intriguing case to me.
No one has seen or heard from Jaleesa since she went to the library in Scotland Neck on February 22nd, 2010. This is the one where she logged off her Facebook account at lunchtime. At around 1:40 p.m., she logged in again from a home computer along Cemetery Road. Reynolds didn't have a home computer, and friends say she would go to the library almost every day to use the internet and Facebook. Jaleesa was normally shy, but was more outgoing with people that she had met online. A massive search was conducted, and several other searches have taken place over the years since. Agencies and volunteers from across the state were involved in these searches, and unfortunately turned up nothing.
You know, this case, she's shy, but not as shy with people she met on the internet. Now, I'm not, okay, she logged off of her Facebook at lunchtime it
just says
at
lunch.
Lunchtime, yeah.
So I'm going to guess around 12:30.
Right. And that was at the library, right?
Yes, ma'am.
In Scotland Neck. But at 1:40 p.m., this is where I'm confused. At 1:40 p.m., she logged in again from a home computer. Whose home computer?
I'm telling you, they know.
They're not saying.
They're not saying, but I'm telling you, they know.
They're not telling us whose home computer. Was it a friend? Was it who? But anyway, that's where they logged on. She must have went to someone's house on Cemetery Road, logged back into the computer, and she's never been seen since. That is so strange to me. But anyway, if you know anything about Jaleesa Reynolds, February 22nd, 2010, please call 406-6736. It's a Scotland Neck case. We'd appreciate somebody coming forward with some tips. If you have a tip, it's anonymous. It's anonymous. We will not know who you are. Just please do the right thing. Somebody knows something about every single case. We talked about that last week with the Middlesex chief, you know. He said, yes, somebody knows in every case, and all law enforcement says that when they come, because it's true. I mean, somebody knows. So it's up to you to come forward and do something, because this girl has never been seen since. So anyway, that's all for today for the K-Files. Thank you, JP.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. It was fun. Next week we have a guest. We're going to enjoy that too, because we're going to talk about the importance of having cameras in your home, security systems in your home, so at your business also. So anyway, we'll see you next week. Make it a great day.